Alright, let's do this. Let's do it. Techfall Tabletalks, episode 64. I'm your host, Julius Grit, and man, something really cool just happened. Alright, so the World Team Trials, U23 and U20, happened this past weekend. At the time of this recording, the tournament may still be going on, but I want to talk about 57 kilograms, Max Gallagher from Long Island, New York. He's wrestling at UPenn. He qualified for the NCAAs this past season. He just went out there and he had a great tournament. He wrestled phenomenally, and I'm going to get into the best 2 out of 3 series he had with a West Point wrestler, Charlie Farmer. So, first match right here, in the best 2 out of 3. Max gets a passivity warning in the first. So, just to let you guys know, if you guys saw it, but in case anyone didn't see it, the way Max was wrestling, he was wrestling very defensively, but he did just enough to not get too many passivity calls, and he wrestled like that in the throughout this whole series here, this 2 out of 3 series. So think of it like how, if you ever watched Floyd Mayweather, the way he boxes, that's how Max was wrestling here, at least in this tournament. Wrestling very defensively, being very tactical, but he wasn't like stalling or anything. Everything had a purpose, so he was being defensive for a reason. And he picked his shots literally picked his shots where he knew he could be successful. He didn't make any mistake, like very few. Like there was probably one mistake in his entire run, especially in this 2 out of 3 series. He knew he had to make very few, if any, mistakes at all. So that's kind of where that passivity warning came in. And then Max hit a nice single leg to get that first blood. First blood meaning he was the first one to get a takedown. First one to score. And Max was doing a real good job of not letting Farmer control the ties. Farmer likes to tie a lot. I'm going to mention later on about what his go-to is, but he's a tie-up wrestler, right? He wrestles close. Max did a good job controlling that. Farmer used Max's pressure from a single leg to step over and get a takedown. So it kind of was like a little bit of a scramble, or a freestyle scramble. So Max was defending a single leg from Farmer. They kind of scrambled around a little bit, but then Farmer used Max's pressure to step over. If you watch the match on Flow, you'll know what I'm talking about. But then later on, Max hit a single leg, popped his head to the outside, finished it, and then hit a lace right after. And then shortly after the period ended, Max is in the lead, 6-2, to end the first period. Second period comes around. A lot of arm drag attempts by Gallagher, which is an awesome setup. And then another head outside single by Max Gallagher. Now the score is 8-2. Farmer had gotten a step out and a caution point on Gallagher's end. So again, Max was being very defensive, but he did it for a reason. He had a strategy and it wound up working in the end, but that's why he got this caution point. He was being defensive, but he knew he could be. He knew he didn't have to worry too much about getting passivity points towards his opponent, things like that. He knew how to wrestle these matches very smart. Both wrestlers caused a stalemate from the crackdown position, and then a few more seconds goes by, and then Max wound up winning 8-4. So that's the first match right there. So now Max is in the lead in this best 2 out of 3 series, and it's his mission right now to not give up this next match. Do everything he can to just win this next match. Do not bring it to a third match. So to start off the second match, Max hit a really nice down block. Farmer is getting a little bit more aggressive at this point. Like, he was being offensive before, but now he's really being aggressive. He really wants to win the match. And then Farmer, his go-to is that right side underhook. He kept going for it over and over and over again. Very nice combo from Gallagher in the first period. It was like he went for a double leg, then switched off to a single leg, then went on the inside, and then went on the outside. So he basically went from left to right or from right to left, depending on your vantage point. So he went from like left to right, so inside and outside. But again, the exact direction depends on your vantage point from where you're watching. and then he got feet to back and he got 4 points. The reason why he was able to do that is because he did not stop moving, which makes this a combo. Chain wrestling, he did not stop moving. He just kept going, and he knew he could score there, and he scored big. I wasn't even expecting 4 points, but he was able to get 4 instead of 2. That's big. Arm drag to a double, he tried to do the cartwheel finish. Didn't get any points because Farmer didn't exactly land. Like, he landed on his hip, but then was able to like pop right back up. So Max couldn't establish control at all. That's why he didn't score any points. Farmer keeps trying to tie him up. Gallagher's doing a great job at managing those ties. Farmer wound up getting a step out. So he went for a single leg, got Max's leg up in the air. But Max has great balance and stability, so he knew not to get himself tripped up. And he knew giving up 1 point is better than giving up 4 points. So a little bit after that, the period ended. Max was just really good with his defense. Again, being very defensive. Got a caution point in the first match, being defensive here. But hey, he knew how to strategize to win these matches. Even though he gave up that step-out point at the end of the first period, he knew he could afford to do that. That wasn't that big of a deal. So 4-1 to start the second period. Max is in the lead. A single leg to a double leg finish. Single leg entry to a double leg finish from Farmer. Now the score is 4-3. But Max is winning by criteria because he had a big 4-point throw. So if Farmer had gotten a couple of step-outs, Max would still be winning by criteria. If Farmer had gotten one more step-out point, Max would still be winning by criteria if the score was tied up. Then Gallagher, again, gets away from that front headlock. He knows Farmer likes to tie up. He's not trying to have it. Get away from those ties. Max Gallagher goes in for a double leg. Farmer goes in for the double leg and then tries to attempt to go for a body lock finish. Max defended it very, very well. Again, the balance and stability. Both wrestlers here, they just keep moving. In both matches, they just kept moving, going for it, moving. They just exhibited great cardio. And that's what it takes at those high levels. Your cardio comes into play. You can have all the fancy moves you want, but if you get tired quickly, you're not going to be able to do those moves. And then what does it come down to? The basics. So both these guys showed great cardio and made these matches fun to watch. And then toward the end, Max had about 20 seconds left. Farmer goes in for a shot. Max hit a nice re-attack, which resulted in a go behind from Max. He got 2 final points to win 6-3. Max Gallagher makes the 57 kilogram U23 World Team. That is amazing. And now it is officially confirmed at the time of me recording this. Max is definitely going to go wrestle for it because Marcus Blaze could have taken the spot because he placed really high at the Olympic trials, but 2 different weight classes. And he's heavier and he doesn't have a lot of time to declare himself the World Team member here. And wouldn't have enough time to make weight, honestly, based on what the commentary team was saying on Flow. So Max Gallagher is officially the 57 kilogram U23 World Team member. That is amazing. And Max had a really big semifinal win over fellow New Yorker Steve O'Poolin in order to get to the best of 3. And man, it's really it's great to see Max doing so well. And he made a really big jump. I know folk style and freestyle are 2 different styles, but he went from just qualifying for NCAAs to making a world team. That's a jump, that's a jump. And the thing about Max, what's really cool about him is you're not seeing anything fancy. You're not seeing anything that you can't learn how to do, right? So for all the wrestlers listening to this or watching on YouTube, you can't not learn what Max is doing, right? These are all things that you know how to do, that I know how to do, right? At any level. It's just Max has become somewhat of a master at the fundamentals to where he doesn't need to look flashy, but he makes it look really flashy by accident. He makes the basic things look flashy. because he's so good at it. Everything was simple here. Just controlled the ties, made sure to be very defensive, and he could afford to give away some cautions. It didn't really matter. Just made sure to be defensive, prioritize that, and he made sure to wrestle really smart, and he has the gas tank for it. He has the gas tank to do basic things and just keep going and going and going and going and moving around. Like, he just has that. And those are the things he prioritized. Having great cardio and just being a master of the basics, and that's why he's been able to do so well. So it's going to be real interesting to see what happens in Albania at the U23 Worlds, but I wouldn't be surprised if Max Gallagher ends up with a medal. I wouldn't be surprised at all. So congrats, Max, and good luck. But honestly, man, I'm really predicting that you're going to go to Albania and get a medal because you're that good.